Episode 4, Betrothed. Before Amrit woke up, I quietly got out of his bed. He was sleeping peacefully, turned on his side, with his back to me. He had trusted me completely, allowing himself to be so vulnerable before me. Kindness of goddess path. Soft, sleepy, vulnerable, weak. I could kill him right this moment. He wouldn't even understand what's happening. And if the Dubays lost their main hair, all my problems would be solved. I suddenly felt scared by the fact I was seriously even considering this. The ideas I get first thing in the morning. Wait, Amala, you care about him, right? He's becoming dear to me, and I couldn't harm him, not even for the sake of my family and power, right? The question should have been an obvious answer, but strangely it didn't feel that way. Careful not to make a sound, I got dressed and went back to my room. For some time, I found myself just laying on the bed, staring at the ceiling. I had to find the strength to get through the day, and the one after. Uncertainty scared me. The sect and what they told me about Kali Yuga, I think they were telling the truth. Everything makes sense, the fact that Rita Shiva is here to help proves it. It took me a few minutes to calm down. Madhu knocked on the door. She had brought me breakfast and a change of clothes. Would you like some food, mistress? Yes, but don't call me mistress. I'm just a guest here. Madhu blinked in surprise. Oh, I thought yesterday the young master. I'm sorry. I did what I was told. Wait, yesterday the young master what? Please excuse me. She ran out of the room as if she had never been there. I didn't even have time to get angry. Without wasting time, I had a quick breakfast and changed my clothes. Beige, green, blue. I like the beige. It's kind of pretty. Blue I really like though. It's a basic one though, but you know, why not? Surprised no hairstyle and or jewelry options. Kiran wasn't in his bedroom. I tensed up, but reassured myself that the thought he was must have just gone for a walk somewhere. After looking around the garden and a couple living rooms, I reached the hall. Kiran was sitting on one of the sofas in the luxurious, spacious room. I've been looking for you all over the place. Why did you disappear without saying anything? We need to talk. For real. Not like yesterday when you avoided all my questions. He looked at me from under his brows. Be honest. Are you actually comfortable here? If I got it right, we were in a room full of murderers yesterday. And they torture people to sacrifice them. What the hell, Amala? Yes. It's cruel, scary, but they won't hurt us. Is that all you care about? Of course not. And I feel sorry for those who were killed, but that shouldn't stop me. Brilliant. That's super reassuring. He was clearly on edge. He didn't even try to hide how upset he was, as usually he was. I don't recognize you, Amala. Usually you're so calm and rational. But here, it's like you've got one-track mind going along with this without any hesitation, and for what? I feel like I finally found myself in where I belong. Things seem clear here. So familiar. I'm immersed in my native culture. No one looks at me weirdly when I wear a sari. Do you understand? All my life I've been searching for that piece that was taken away from me. And I found it right here. Do you really think that these people from the sect won't hurt you? Despite the fact that they kill and torture people in the name of their damn imaginary goddess? Kiran raised voice echoed through the halls, but I replied calmly. She's real. He froze as if suddenly hit him that everything he told me was useless. And that I just went insane. Are you being bloody serious right now? Raking his fingers through his hair, he looked away, but had an annoyed, resigned expression on his face. Do you think I've lost my mind like Grandma? Did you not? What else am I supposed to think? I didn't want to tell you anything, but you're a grown-up, so it's probably time. I don't want to scare you, but if you know the truth about our family in the sack, then you should know this truth too. I looked at my hand where Raton's medni used to be. Most of it faded away long ago, and I had just painted over it when I felt like it. But several of the original Mendy's patterns were still visible on my skin. They couldn't be removed unless I wanted to. Rubbing my skin hard, I thought to myself, this might be a dangerous trick, but at least we're at the Dubé's mansion. Who, if not, can control the boots? Also, Raton is looking after us. I'd rather scare Kiran with this sight than let him think that I've gone mad. It would be far worse for him to think like that. Like everyone else in the family, that I'm going to abandon him soon. I erased the patterns, and soon the remnants of the Mendy disappeared. What was that all about? I looked around cautiously. Stay close to me. I've learned to protect myself against these creatures. Creatures? It was quiet for the first few moments. Kiran looked at me anxiously. You're starting to freak me out. The smell of incense and rotten flesh suddenly hit my nose. Oh, I haven't smelled this in a while. What is this smell? The space began to change. An eerie swamp green light enveloped the room. Kiran looked around, confused by what was happening. What the hell? Long skeletal arms came bursting through the walls, and the silhouettes of dozens of people appeared from thin air. They were howling, quietly whispering something. Kiran, who had been standing up to that moment, sat back down, scared, his horrified gaze darting from one figure to the other. He's starting to panic. I think he's had enough of the show. Okay, breathe. Stay calm. As Amrit said, I control this. How did I do it last time? I calmed down and listened to my breathing. I'm the stronger one here, not them, because I'm alive. Closing my eyes, I concentrated on myself. It didn't feel that hard anymore. Each time I did it, I became more confident. Some of the shadows that had been crawling out of the wall suddenly froze. Kiran noticed it and seemed very impressed. But it was not within my power to stop them all. You've already stopped the spirits by yourself, so you have the skills to fight the supernatural. Looking at me again, he suddenly turned pale. Mala? There are so many of them behind your back. Several more of the dead gathered behind him. Some looked like Behoots, others were just faceless shadows. I needed to do something and fast. And so, I got ready to attack them. Don't be afraid. They can't get to you. What the hell is going on? I threw myself in front of my brother, boldly looking straight at the spirits and at the flashing lights where their eyes should have been. Stay back, or I'll tear you apart. No, don't protect me. I should be the one protecting you. Kiran tried to push me away, but I wouldn't let him. You don't know how to deal with them. And you do? I remember the words of the Black Tantra by heart. This whole universe was born by you. This world was created by you. In the end, you always devour it. You manifest as a destructive force. Dark Mother, Mother of Strife, Mother of Time. What? Many of the shadows began to back away. But not all of them were Betrothed. Others remained still. Well, that one has such weird arms. Left without protection, I felt naked, vulnerable in front of all these creatures. Anxiety rose in my stomach, and I noticed that the haze was getting thicker, and something more powerful, scarier than just the Betrothed was approaching Kiran and me. It was a strange feeling, but I could clearly sense someone dangerous getting closer and closer. I was left without protection for a moment. All the creatures for miles around rushed here. Amrit will kill me if he finds out. Kiran didn't even notice him, but I turned my head in Raton's direction, mouthing, "Help." He quickly realized what was going on. Raton held out his arm, squeezing his fingers as if he was trying to choke someone. "Leave." The creatures took a few steps back and then disappeared into thin air, obedient like puppets. When it was all over, Kiran sank to the floor, in shock. His mind, just like mine once, was in complete turmoil. Without wasting time, Raton scolded me. "What happened? Why did you erase your protective Mendi? What was going through your mind? What if I hadn't gotten here in time?" I didn't want to talk back or make excuses, so I told him the truth. I knew you or Amrit would be somewhere nearby. You can't always rely on that. I might be busy with something else. I never found out what kind of creature was approaching. It definitely wasn't Raton. He has a different energy. Who wants to hurt me? Raton crouched down next to Kiran, carefully examining him. "Are you alright?" "Yes, I didn't expect that." "You'll get used to it soon. Even though you're a man, you still possess many of the dispositions of the Basus." Dispositions? Are you talking about the visions? The visions? Your visions, Mama? Is that what's happening to me? Kiran tried to join in the conversation, but he was just completely at a loss. "No. It's just that the members of the dozen are delicious morsels for tortured souls. Especially the Basu." Wait, so he doesn't have visions? No, and there's no way he could. As I said, he's a man. Sat down next to my brother. Well, he at least got to see what we see, so, I'll take that. If he doesn't have visions, does that mean he's just going insane? Kiran, don't worry about anything. I'll try to find out. What is there to find out? It's obvious. I'm sick. If what just happened is what your visions look like, I see something completely different. What exactly do you see? I can't explain it. And you must be Mr. Vaish that Jaya was talking about. Yes. So you're also a part of this. Raton and I exchanged glances. Kiran knew everything. There was no turning back for him. Amala, don't worry, I'll help with that. We need to talk in private. Kiran, let me take you to your bedroom. You can take a moment there, I'll wrap some things up, and then we'll go home. Fine. Before leaving the room, I gave Raton a grateful look. As I was walking back to the hall, I ran into Vimal and Rishi Dubey. Amala, good morning. How did you sleep after our meeting? Good morning. Fine, thank you. I had no idea what the sect was really fighting against. Fighting? Well, you could say that. We slowly moved further down the hallway. I didn't know where it led, but Vimal seemed to know his way. I hope you'll get used to this quickly, and it won't scare you anymore. You need to gather support and regain your former influence. This place at the head of the dozen might be comfortable, but it's not easy to keep. Traditions must be honored. If traditions dictate that the Basus and Dubeis must be obeyed, that's what must happen. Isn't that right?
things aren't as clear-cut as you think. Everyone has their own motives for staying in their place. Some do it out of love for the Dark Mother. Some, for example, want revenge.
Revenge? Who would want to take revenge on me, and why?
You have enough enemies, believe me. There's lots of blood on the Dubé's hands. Your blood, Amala.
I was confused by his words. I looked questioningly at Rishi, but he was silent.
Think about what I said. I'll go now, but I hope to see you again.
When he left, Rishi didn't follow him immediately. What was your father talking about?
Surprised you still don't know, but maybe it's for the best.
And then Rishi also left.
I was alarmed by their words, angry even. It all sounded strange, yet somehow vaguely familiar.
As I was lost in thought, I turned my head to the side to stretch my neck. A half-open door caught my eye. Behind it, as I guessed, there was an office. Devdas Dubé's office. I got here only because of Vimal, and this room probably holds the answers to all my questions. Or did Vimal lead you here on purpose? Just like Amrit keeps the information about the dozen in his library, Devdas might also be keeping something in here. Should I take the risk? I'll just take a quick look at his desk, and I won't even touch anything. If anything catches, or anyone catches me, I'll pretend that I'm lost. What if there are names, addresses, or some important information? I mean, Amrit runs the sect now, but I'm sure Devdas is not just a spectator. I took one small step inside, checking if the room was empty. All was quiet. Papers were neatly stacked on a beautifully expensive desk. Pencils, pens were perfectly aligned. The level of precision says a lot. It would have been foolish of me to expect to find a list of victims or a description of the sex plans. No one keeps such things just out where anyone can find them. But as I was looking for at least some detail, a clue. There's lots of blood on the Dubé's hands. Your blood, Amala. What was Vimal talking about? Was he trying to scare me, confuse me, warn me? Nothing stood out. The office was very neat, didn't seem to provide any insight into its owner's affairs. Next to a stack of papers, there was a calendar turned to October. Okay, so we have 9th in blue, 13th in red with big old letters. 1980. So, 2 weeks, question mark? There were 2 dates marked on it, and an interval of 2 weeks. I saw something similar in Grandma's room. She marks the new moon and the full moon each month. I started flipping through the calendar. 2 dates were marked on each page. It matches the phases of the moon. Devdas circled the same dates as my grandmother did, but there was something else written next to one of the dates that month. Small print in a local language. 7, the righteous. I turned the page. November had the same thing on it. 8, innocent. I'll copy everything, even though I can remember it, but we'll just see. I don't understand this, but there's no time to think. I took one of the blank sheets and a pencil from the neat rows and wrote down the dates. When I was done, I quickly left the office. Your choice will affect the plot. Surprisingly, there was no one around. Normally, I would have thought it odd, but at the moment, I was too lost in my own thoughts. Going towards the reception hall to find Ratan, I noticed Amrit in one of the rooms. He immediately turned to me.
Amala, I've been looking for you.
Here? Well, here I am. What is it?
There's something I need to talk to you about. Or if you want, we can skip the talking. Just sit on my lap and make my day better.
What's wrong with your day?
Nothing, but I can find a way to ruin it if needed.
I'd rather talk.
I was hoping you'd pick the other option.
You're pushing your luck. Just because I agreed to be with you, it does not give you the right to do whatever you want.
It's a pity. I would like that. Cut him some slack.
Really? And what would you do if I were at your mercy right now?
There we go. Now we're talking.
Amrit slowly approached me like a predator hunting its prey.
Well, first I'd do this.
He pulled my hair behind my back, fixing it, and he touched my shoulders, gently running his hands over them. He touched me as if he was appraising a work of art. I smiled faintly, keeping calm. He observed my reaction.
There. All done.
You haven't actually done anything.
Is that so? I made you smile. Now I can admire you.
Are you trying to be romantic?
You don't know that, but I look at you very often. Like I watch you and think that such a woman is in love with me. I don't know what you expect from me. Did you think I'd grope you in a corner at every opportunity?
Yeah, something like that.
How crude and vulgar. I have other feelings for you, not just lust.
His hands laid down at my waist as he spoke. He drew me closer to him. What kind of feelings are you hiding?
Such a sarcastic and distrustful person doesn't deserve to know.
But this person is demanding you to answer.
This person needs to be patient and understand that it's useless to demand anything from me.
Oh, I remember. One can only ask nicely. Who came up with these rules, by the way?
I don't play by anyone's rules beside my own.
He leaned towards me, almost covering my lips with his. I smiled when he froze just an inch away. We're not alone in this house. Someone could walk in at any minute.
Oh no, how horrible. I don't care. Those who are not supposed to see us will close their eyes and walk away.
Before I could answer, he wrapped his arm tight around my waist, pulled me against him, and kissed me. His other hand pressed on my chin so that I opened my mouth a little. His wet tongue traced my lips and slid inside. A moment ago, I was being sarcastic, telling him to control himself, but now I was melting at his hands, our conversation long forgotten. It didn't take much for us to want each other. If this passionate kiss had lasted even a moment or two longer, I would have said to hell with propriety and thrown myself at him right on the sofa. His hands roamed my body, his teeth biting my lips, his ragged breath and his dizzying scent. I just wanted to tease you a little, but no. You wanted to tell me something?
Let's do that later.
No. Tell me now. Somehow I found the strength to pull away from that irresistibly attractive man.
Do you like to torture me?
He gave me one last longing look before relenting.
Fine, let's talk about this.
Amrit will think about you for the rest of the day. We turned around at the same time when we felt Raton's presence. He appeared in the room and spoke, his voice emotionless. You're finally together. Amrit, you need to tell her. Stop playing games. There was enough time for you to fulfill the agreement. Whether it worked out or not, it doesn't matter anymore. We need her to make her decision as soon as possible. Yes, Mahadeva Rita Shiva. Amrit looked at me, solemnly, without a hint of mischief, which he very rarely did. He needs to tell me what, Dubé. I knew you were hiding something else from me.
How could I not? I wouldn't want you to get bored of me too quickly. It's about the nature of our connection, Amala. Why are we attracted to and feel each other so much?
He held out his hand to me so that I would give him mine in return. Instant warmth flared between us, something special, pleasant. People don't usually feel each other's moods, emotions, heartbeat, presence. But there are exceptions, those of us who are promised to each other. A vow before the gods and a ritual that binds two souls tightly. The will of the gods is for us to be together, Amala. Do you mean married? Yes, walk hand in hand until the very end. Our union is essential so that many necessary things will happen. It was foretold long ago. My questions were finally answered, and the resentment washed over me. So, all this time you knew who I was and what connected us? Not only that, I have been really looking forward to your arrival, Amala. Anger tightened in my chest. The diamond choice won't affect your relationship. Interesting. I slapped Amrit. Unable to restrain myself, I threw my hand back and slapped his face. He staggered from the impact. +1 respect, okay. And you've been hiding this from me all this time. He touched his lips. There was blood on his fingers. Amrit looked at me angrily. A crazy, impulsive woman. Just like the rest of your family. You don't like my family. But you've been waiting so long for my arrival. Where's all of your love gone? Nowhere. I'll look past this one time. Spare me your generosity. You certainly know how to spice up a relationship. Amrit is displeased, but impressed. He'll remember that it's better not to make you angry. It's not my fault. This was decided long before you and I were even born. And I want to know all the details. To begin with, you ought to answer an important question. There will be no more secrets after that. That's what they all say, and then there's like 12 more for every one you uncover. Amrit and Rattan stood in front of me. Will you take our side? Will you help us fight against the approaching chaos and destruction? Will you join the Caligore, my betrothed? They were looking at me, waiting for my answer. The answer that was behind everything. The answer that had led me to India. What was I supposed to say? Rate us. Well, that was, I guess, short and sweet. 1 independence, 2 loyalty, 3 respect, 1 rage, 3 kindness. Huh. So, yeah, if you did enjoy, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description, plenty of things to check out there and ways to support. Without further ado, I will say the following. First and foremost, those of you who are actually patient and wait for these things to happen, thank you. Secondly, it's interesting. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I saw the thing pop out for kindness of the goddess, right? Which was about cruelty. So, I feel like it's, like, we have these thoughts, and I could be wrong, but if I'd chosen, this is my assumption, if I'd chosen more things that gave rage, perhaps we would have fed more into that cruelty. But because I've chosen a path of kind of like mixed, but leaning more so to kindness, right? Because, you know, that is human nature, I guess, in a way, is where you kind of pick, I mean, let's be honest, 3 kindness, 1 rage, right? So out of your day, you usually try and be kind, or at least you should be. I am. But you do have those 1 moments of, you know, whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section. Secondly, for those of you who watch this, and again are at the end of this video, thank you for watching. I just want to say the following. So, I do a lot of work, right, on these videos. And I know some of you may be rolling your eyes. I don't mean just these videos for Romance Club. You do have to remember that there are choices chapters that I do that pretty much add up to about 7 to 10 hours a week. There are streams, and then the editing, and then I'm also reading things. I'm not just recording and uploading, right? Like a lot of other people, you know, they tap, tap, tap. I actually read, narrate, and voice. So, at least to the best of my ability with the current limitations of my technology. So, with that being said, and then I also cover, you know, streams, and, you know, then I also have to take care of my 2 brothers that are completely and utterly reliant on me. So, there's a lot of, let's just say, there's a lot of hours, right? Like, my brothers are a full-time job in and of themselves, so let's just go 8 hours minimum a day, and then on top of it, choices, the streaming, etc. You guys need to realize that also fitting in another app, especially when it's in its infancy on this channel, and I'm not really getting paid for this at all, is literally and figuratively, like, I mean, also my health and all everything else. Yeah, I'm just saying. So if you want me to, like, raise this up in priority, right? Encourage, share, like, consider supporting through financial means. I'm going to be honest with you. Things like that. That way, I'm able to go, okay, I can focus a little bit more on these, or I can even make this more of a priority versus other content I'm currently doing. Like, right now, I've got a lot of other projects that have my attention as well, that are things that are going to be one and done, right? Like, big, long production things right now. And these things do happen. So, again, you know, I can't stress enough, try and support this channel by any means you possibly can, and support specifically the content that is being out there and put out there. So if you really like Romance Club and you want more Romance Club, you know what you need to do. Thought I would just say that. Some of you are a little impatient, I get it, but at the same time, I'm trying my best with what limited time, you know, everything else. Again, limitations. You know, if there were 3 of me, sure, one would work on Romance Club, one would work on choices and streaming, and the other one would just try and live a life and focus on my brothers and my health. I mean, the other 2, I guess, would just be cast aside. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.